Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. We have a lot of news to cover today. Even another segment today, as we have a segment on the Trump administration and the other news per usual. But we also have a segment on the courts, as there have been a couple court rulings today. That being said, yeah, I hope all you guys had a wonderful day. Episode 44, I believe. Today is also the first day of May. It was May Day. There were protests, but we'll get to that. Yeah, hope all you guys had a great first day of May, and hopefully it's a good one. Hopes and prayers. That being said, though, let's get started with today's episode. Opening up with the Trump administration segment, per usual. Two topics to cover today. The Trump who stole Christmas. That's just a little pun, as Trump has acknowledged that there will be toy shortages during the holiday season. And, Trump has removed Mike Waltz, as his national security advisor. The Trump who stole Christmas. Trump has acknowledged that toy shortages are very possible as a result of his trade war and the possibility of higher toy prices as a whole. Trump told reporters on Wednesday, well, maybe the children have $2 instead of $30, and maybe $2 will cost a couple bucks more. There's been growing concerns about the 2025 holiday shopping season being disrupted, and that's very possible. I blinked on how to say that word. Sorry. Anyways, of course, there will still be a Christmas, even if the toy supply chain is low. But you really could say Trump is a modern-day Grinch because of these tariffs. He is essentially destroying the Christmas Day season for all of these kids. And, maybe $30 for his family is realistic. But that is not... I ain't never seen that many presents in my life. Which, I'm sure is normal for a majority of middle class families and even like lower middle class families. Because things are expensive, and especially when you have 4 kids, Christmas tends to be a little expensive. I do wonder what the prices will look like around Christmas time, because I'm sure they will be high. But not sure how high they will be. And that's always something to, think about and wonder and worry about. But it's only May, and I'm stressed out enough as it is from this administration. Moving on, Trump has removed Mike Waltz as his national security advisor. Trump has ousted Mike Waltz as his national security advisor, but has not fired him, as he has been nominated to be the ambassador to the United Nations. This morning it was leaked that Trump plans to announce his removal. This is the first senior level departure in the second Trump administration so far, as Trump has resisted pressure to remove cabinet officials. According to Trump, Marco Rubio will serve as the interim national security advisor. It is not clear who will land the full-time job, but the leading pick is Steve Witnikov, who is Trump's special envoy. Not shocked by this one, as he put our national security at risk on multiple occasions. Hopefully Pete Hegseth is next, but we'll see. Steve Witnikov, of course, isn't the most surprising pick. Of course, he did fail to get a deal done with Russia and Ukraine, but I mean, he's just another one of those Trump supporters, and I doubt we go throughout this hire process without getting another Trump loyalist, in the position. Because that's just how Trump's rolling in this administration. Moving on to the court segment, we have 2 topics for this one. The Alien Enemies Act has been ruled unlawful, and House Republicans have voted to deport U.S. citizens. The Alien Enemies Act has been ruled unlawful. Trump's invocation of the Wartime Alien Enemies Act of 1798 has been ruled unlawful by a federal judge. The decision came from U.S. District Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr., who is a Trump appointee. Rodriguez said Trump had improperly invoked the law to target alleged members of the Venezuelan gang. Rodriguez said Trump's proclamation exceeds the scope of the statute and as a result is unlawful. Going on to say, do not possess the lawful authority under the AEA and based on the proclamation to detain Venezuelan aliens, transfer them within the United States, or remove them from the country. I feel that despite this ruling, it won't stop the Trump administration. We'll see, but the Trump administration has been not only very reluctant, but has even proven that they just plain won't follow court orders if they disagree. None of this, of course, would be a problem if we didn't give, the president immunity to the law. But stupidly enough, we decided to make that decision. House Republicans have voted to deport U.S. citizens. House Republicans have voted down an effort to block immigration enforcers from using federal resources to detain or deport U.S. citizens. During a House Judiciary Committee meeting on Wednesday, Democrats and Republicans voted on an amendment introduced by Representative Pramila J. Paul, the Democrat from Washington, who sought to clear ICE. The ICE cannot detain or deport U.S. citizens under any circumstances. All Republicans voted for this, and all Democrats voted against this. Republicans have voted for their own constituents to be deported. They want to deport the people who vote them into office and pay them to do their job. This is not okay. If you want to vote to deport me, here's what I have to say to you. I don't think you should get paid to do your job. Your job is to work in the best interest of the American people, and the Republican Party has failed to do so in this. Your job is the job that I want to have, and I think I would do a much better job because I care about the best interests of the American people, and I care about putting the American people's interests above my own interests. And that is not something you want to do. You have voted to put the people who put you into office and the people who pay your salaries into Venezuela or El Salvador camps, my apologies. El Salvador camps and even places in Africa, as we saw yesterday with the news coming out that Trump is floating the idea of sending people to Africa too now. So you're going against your own people, and you are voting to put your voters into other countries. How are you going to deport Americans? Where are you going to deport me to? Are you going to send me back to Ireland? I've never been there. I'd love to go. I'd love to. Please, send me to Ireland. I wouldn't come back. Probably not, honestly. Probably not. Until I have to run for office, but, that's a whole nother thing with a whole bunch of other rules, Obviously, I don't want to be deported. But I mean, truly, where are you going to send American citizens? Are you going to send... They're going to send them to El Salvador. I don't know why I'm asking that. But, where are you supposed to deport them to, They live here. They're from here, It just truly, genuinely pisses me off that this is the job that I want to do when I graduate college and all of that. And they are so shitty at it. They go against their constituents every single day. I mean, I could never. Truly. I mean, it is baffling to me how you can want to do this job and represent the American people and still be so shitty to them. How can you vote to put your own people into camps in another country? I mean, how? How? Man, truly, not only unfathomable, but just why and how? Truly. Bray for Representative 2030, guys. Don't forget. I'll be there, and I'm going to do a million times better than any of these people doing. Trust me, I got plans. We're getting free healthcare. We're fixing education. We're doing all these things, especially education. I talk about that a lot. I think that's one of the main things I truly want to focus on. I truly believe that we need to benefit our younger generations by putting them into programs that not only benefit and support their interests, but also do teach them a fair amount. I am a strong believer in the Bell, schedule school system, and just the school system as a whole isn't great, especially for high schoolers. I mean, they're at a point in their life where they're discovering themselves and learning about the person that they're going to be when they go into college, or making these decisions. So we should be pursuing, and preparing students for, what they're going to do in the real world. If that's going to be the trade route, if that's going to be the or the college route. My apologies. Um, I'm strongly believing that, or strongly believe that, and that is one of the main things that I support, because these are the younger generations, and they need to be taught. That is like completely off topic from what we were talking about, but vote for me in 2030. I'll be there, and I will stand for you, and I will make sure your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren and everything after that have a wonderful life, because that's what I want. I want people to come to this country and see opportunity, see a goal, see a greatness, to be able to succeed and not have to struggle through all these debts, and not have to struggle to worry about where their next meal is going to come from, because nobody should. I mean, I was raised in a country where I thought that the United States was the best place in the world. I was raised where I thought the United States is the country that you will have the most opportunities, and you have the opportunity to be free and be who you want to be. And that's not the case. And that's what I want. I want people to come to the United States and feel like they have the opportunity to be who they want to be. I want to be like me. What it means to be president. This is a paper I wrote a while ago now. It's on Substack somewhere. If you can find it, you'll have to scroll for a bit. But I wrote about being inspired by President Obama, and that's what I want to do for these younger generations. I want them to not only see and feel like they have the opportunity to be who they want to be. They have the opportunity to be successful and do whatever they want to do. And I want to inspire people to do that, just like how I felt when I saw Obama, speaking on the stage. I felt inspired, and I felt like I had the opportunity to be the person I want to be. And that's what I want to bring to the American people. People shouldn't worry about, being sent away. They shouldn't worry about being grabbed up by government agencies. They should feel like they have an opportunity and a chance and a shot, you know? I'm very passionate about this. Sorry, I know I tried to wrap it up and I got back into it, but um, you know, we'll we'll end it now and move on to the other news segment. My apologies. For the other news segment today, we have two topics. McDonald's has suffered a bad first quarter, and worldwide May Day protests have happened today. McDonald's on Thursday reported a mixed quarterly results as U.S. stores fell for the second straight quarter, posting the biggest decline since COVID. McDonald's U.S. stores sales shrank 3.6%. CEO Chris Kempensky, I don't know how to say that, sorry, said on a conference call, in the U.S. overall, the quick service restaurant industry traffic from low-income consumer cohort was down nearly double digits versus the prior year's quarter. Across the market, stores sales fell 1% during the quarter. Honestly, McDonald's is too much money now. I go quite frequently. Shamefully, not really. It tastes good. I do like myself a good McChicken. But I got a McGriddle the other day because I had an orthodontist appointment and didn't eat breakfast the morning because didn't go to school. So I was hungry and went to treat myself, if you will. And it was $6. I mean, $6 for a McGriddle. I remember when it was $2, and I'm sure it was less than that at some point. I mean, fast food is just too much money. It's losing its selling factor, which is affordability. People can't afford to spend, $50 on food for their family if they're going to McDonald's. That's not what people are coming to McDonald's for. I'm coming to McDonald's to spend like $5 at the most, not 15. And I mean, I feel like in just like a 2-year period, really, McDonald's went from being cheap, dirt cheap, to costing like $1 million. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Moving on, worldwide May Day protests happened today. Many demonstrators at the May Day protests around the world were in anger and united because of that against the Trump administration. France union leaders called out the Trumpization of world politics in Italy. Protesters paraded a puppet of Trump and the Italian prime minister through the streets of Turin, and demonstrators in the United States protested Trump's immigration crackdown and so many other things involving the Trump administration. There were even protests in Asia, as the Philippines and Japan had protests condemning Trump and his tariffs. The entire world is protesting Trump, and it's very clear that, if the entire world is protesting you as an individual, you're probably a terrible person. Continue speaking out, continue spreading the truth, continue making your voices heard, because Trump is truly a bad man, and everything he is doing is not only against the American people, but against the world as a whole. He's doing what he thinks, benefits himself, and whether it does or not is debatable. But at the end of the day, he's doing what will probably and very likely benefit him. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much, everyone. We just got to 121 subscribers last time I checked. It might be a little bit higher since then, but thank you to everyone who's checking out the channel. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. Hopefully we'll hit it eventually. You never know. Striving for the end of the summer, but that's like a lot for the end of the summer, so I doubt that. But yeah, thank you everyone for checking out the channel. If you're on YouTube, drop a like, drop a comment. If you're new, drop a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Appreciate all forms of support. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college. If not, you can always subscribe for free, or all the other things. I believe you can also follow on Substack. I truly appreciate all forms of support on my content. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much for supporting all the work that I do. Check out my Blue Sky. You get the notifications when I post these things. You also get random little bits and little posts from me, spouting out little things and all of this such. But yeah, thank you everyone for checking this out. Went on a little bit of a ramble today. Been a while since I've done that one. But sometimes you just need to ramble to get the feelings out. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Later.